Before we start, we need to discuss one important thing. We need to know about the most important persons in the Ukrainian military authority. First of all, we need to know who is Zaluzhny. Zaluzhny is commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian army. And Zelensky is the supreme commander-in-chief. And one of the most important difference between these two positions is that Supreme Commander-in-Chief is the only person who can give an order to retreat. Nobody else can allow Ukrainian forces, to retreat from their positions toward more reliable positions. So we can say that Zelensky is the only one who can order his forces to retreat. For example, to retreat from Liman, from Severodonetsk, or from any other position. According to the Russian intelligence, there was a meeting this night between Zelensky and Zaluzhny. Maybe there were other people, more people, I don't know, but the most important update is that Zelensky gave Zaluzhny the right to give such an order, but with few notes. The first note is about that Zaluzhny can give such order only in case if there is a very high risk of being encircled. For example, Zaluzhny knows that soldiers, Ukrainian forces in Zolote is going to be encircled, and the risk of being encircled is very high. Only in this case, Zaluzhny can give such an order. And it's very important because I told you in my previous videos that Zaluzhny asked permission from Zelensky around a few times. A few times he asked him permission to leave this area, but according to the information I have, Zelensky refused all the time. And the second note was about Lysychansk agglomeration. According to the Russian information, maybe it's some sort of speculation. If we are talking about Lysychansk agglomeration, Zaluzhny can retreat from this position as well, but not earlier than in 2 days from today. For example, today is 25th of May. That means that Zaluzhny can retreat from Severodonetsk Lysychansk agglomeration not earlier than on the Friday evening. So that's why today I would like to discuss this retreat operation. I'm sure that we're gonna see this operation if nothing changes. If we won't see this operation, this retreat operation, I must say that in this case around 15,000 of Ukrainian soldiers will be encircled. And this is very dangerous for the Ukrainians. More than that, another important update, you know that every government has their own TV channels, TV shows. And on these TV shows, you can see like some opinion, but we know exactly that this opinion is something like pro-government opinion. And there are there are some TV shows in Russia that we can call them like a voice of Kremlin. They start to speak about one important topic. They start discussion, the topic of military coup in Ukraine. We saw that there were a lot of bad days in Ukrainians' front line, in their army, they were defeated almost everywhere. The soldiers are very tired. They don't see the light in the end of this tunnel. And we see that there is a competing conflict between Commander-in-Chief and Supreme Commander-in-Chief. There is president elections next year. And some sources are saying that Zaluzhny is a very nice candidate for this position. So we see a big conflict. And we see that sometimes Zelensky doesn't allow Zaluzhny to do all his job good. Zelensky is the private person. And Zaluzhny is the officer. He is a military guy. And I repeat myself, a lot of Russian pro-Kremlin TV shows start discuss the situation as military coup in Ukraine. But we should also understand that it might be a part of informational war and some kind of speculation, like to ruin the spirit of Ukrainian forces in the Donbas Arc operation. So let's start from Lysychansk agglomeration. This is one of the most important area now, and we understand that Ukrainians, they need to retreat or they need to hold this position until the West heavy army arrives. But according to the latest update, we know that the weapon will arrive just in July. So I'm not sure that Ukrainians are able to keep this land till July. But who knows? First of all, let's mark some updates exactly in Lysychansk agglomeration. This is the Ukraine. This is the Slaviansk Kramatorsk, the heart of Donbas Arc operation. This is our flower of Popasna, and this is Lysychansk agglomeration. Exactly in this area, there are around 15,000 of Ukrainian soldiers in this area. This is the area between Privilye and Zolote, and between Severodonetsk and Siversk and Solidar. So this is the area we are talking about, and we are planning to talk about. There is no changes on the north part, from Serebryanka towards Severodonetsk. The Russians are attacking Severodonetsk every day, every hour. They're bombing this area. They're trying to storm to establish control over some suburbs, but there were no updates from this area today. Now let's move to the east, to the Toshkovka area. And today the Russians updated their map. You see this? And now they're showing that Toshkovka is under the Russian control. You see this. We discussed this situation many times. I don't know why the West Sources map doesn't want to update this map, but the Russians, they marked even two icons. First one that like Toshkovka is under the Russians, and the second one they put some video in this area showing the Russian forces were moving towards these roads, towards the streets of this small village. So let's update. Let's update that Toshkovka is under the Russians. On Monday, we heard that the Russians established control over this triangle. On this, if we take a look at this map, they established control over these trenches, this very heavy fortified area. These trenches. So they push Ukrainians back from this area. It's a very nice fortified area. So the Ukrainians were pushed from this area. Another important update that the Russians started attack towards Strachovets, Zolotoye 3. Yesterday I told you that this town was under the Russians, but today I didn't get any confirmation about that, so that's why we will just keep it like this. Another important update on the west map, you see that the West Sources map updated their red color area, and now they're showing that the railway part of Kamyshywaha is under the Russians. This is the rail part. So yesterday, if you remember, the red line were a little bit under this town. Important update regarding Viktorovka. According to the Russian sources map, Viktorovka, half of the Viktorovka is under their control or in the gray line, in the gray zone. But I think that we should update because we got some improvements that the Russians established control over this town. And one of the most important updates that West map showing us today is that the Russians established control over Bilogorovka, Vasilievka, Lipove, and Nirkove. These towns. The Russians told us about this situation a few days ago, like yesterday in the morning, to be more precise. But the West Sources map updated this information just today. And by the way, the Bilogorovka is totally under Russian control, so it's better to mark this territory like this for better understanding. I will explain later. Another update is that Yakovlevka is also under the Russian control, and we saw some maps about that. So this is the picture. I will not update the territory in the rest of Ukraine. Maybe in the evening, in the last part of the video, we have time, we will discuss this. But today, I would like to discuss the retreat operation from Severodonetsk. So this is the situation. This is the picture, like picture for today. And now let's discuss. First of all, according to the official Russian sources, they announced that Lysychansk is in the operational encirclement. This entire area is in operational encirclement. You should understand that, for example, Zolotoye is in operational tactical encirclement. But if we are talking about entire region, this area, this small bag, this bag is in operational encirclement. What does it mean, operational encirclement? Every town, every place like Lysychansk agglomeration has roads that leads from this town, Lysychansk agglomeration, towards Seversk, Bakhmut. We can say that there are roads that leads from Lysychansk agglomeration towards the big land. And the big land is the rest of Ukraine. This is the rest of Ukraine and this is Lysychansk. And there are a few roads. And according to the theory of operational encirclement, that theory says that if there are roads, that means that some of them is already under your enemy control and the rest of the roads is under fire control. This is what operational encirclement means. So let's take a look what kind of roads Lysychansk agglomeration has. There is a road that leads from Lysychansk towards Zolotoye. And I told you a few minutes ago that Zolotoye is under operational tactical encirclement. That means that there is already no roads. They can leave this area just using the fields. And we see that there is a road, this yellow R66, but this road leads towards the Russian territory. So the Ukrainians, they can't use this road to retreat. Let's move next. This black line, this is the railroad. And we can see that this railroad leads towards Rubivka, and Rubivka is under Ukrainian control. Then these roads turn. You see this black line, and as you can see, this black line moves right in front of Russians. So we can say that there is no road because this road is under the Russian control, not fire control even. This road under the strict Russian foot control. So the Ukrainians, they can't use this railroad for evacuation. Let's move next. Another small road, this white line, and this line leads to nothing. It leads to fields and it ends in the field. So that means that Ukrainians, they also can't use this road. Another road, yellow road, this one. You see this road, and this road leads right to Bilogorivka and Yakovlivka. And the Russians establish control over this town today. So we can say that Ukrainians also can't use this road. Let's move next. And that's it. No, there is one road. You see this yellow road, and this yellow road split in two parts. There's a cross here near the Lysychansk oil refinery, and one road leads toward Russian territory, and another road leads towards Seversk. And also there is this second railroad, this black line, that leads also towards Seversk. So we can say that Ukrainians has just one tunnel, and this tunnel between Lysychansk oil refinery plant and Seversk. This is the area the Ukrainians can use for evacuation. But the Russians told that they have already operational encirclement. They did operational encirclement. That means that the roads are under under their control or under the fire control. And that's true if we take a look at this area at the top of the Serebryanka, and we can calculate there is just 8 kilometers from this area towards this road. So we can say that this road is under fire control. Of course, Ukrainians, they can use these roads, but with very big risk of being attacked with artillery. And it's just 8 kilometers. It's not 30 kilometers, not 20 kilometers, it's 8 kilometers. So it's like, you can see it in front of you. So using drones, they can correct the fire and they can destroy any vehicles, any convoy that uses this road. So we can say that cauldron operation in this area started. But we must say that this is the road, and Ukrainians can still use this road. Of course, if they're going to use convoys, I think that at least maybe some half of these convoys will be destroyed, but a lot of forces are still able to cross this area from Lysychansk towards Seversk. So this is it. This is the operation. And now we can remind ourselves about the Bilogorovka operation. You remember this operation that happened like a few weeks ago and the Russians tried to build their pontoon bridge in this area, and they were defeated in this area, and they were forced back on that side of the river. Now we understand the real meaning of that operation, and if the Russians were able to cross this river in this area and to establish bridgehead in this area, the situation would be totally different. It wouldn't be operational encirclement, it would be a cauldron. But the Russians are there. More than that, a lot of Russian military sources are saying that the Russians collected enough of forces in this area one more time. So they understand the meaning of this bridgehead, and they understand that they need to cross this river and to establish control over this bridgehead. It will ease their cauldron operation, and of course it will reduce the losses from the Russian side and from the Ukrainian side, because we understand there is no point for Ukrainians to fight in this area if they will be totally encircled. We know what happened in Mariupol. I think that's the best solution for them, or to retreat or to surrender. There is no point to fight. Now let's talk about the Russians. This is the Bakhmut and this is the Solidar. Of course, we see that they're planning there to encircle this area totally. We know that they have their operational encirclement, and of course they want to create this situation into tactical encirclement. And there are three ways how they can do this. First of all, we discussed it many times, they can attack towards Lysychansk oil refinery. This is the area. This is a very powerful fortified area, and we discussed that during the previous few days the Russians bombed this area heavily for many reasons. And first of all, they want to destroy the rest of the oil and fuel in this area to make their forces be safe, to stay in safe position in this area. This is the first option. Another option, from Bilogorovka to attack towards Siversk. This is another option. In this case, they will be able to establish control over the Siversk, and with help of that, they will encircle the Lysychansk area totally. And the final way how they can do this is to attack from their bridgehead towards Solidar and Bakhmut, and the same situation to cut this railroad. And of course, one crazy option is to try to cross this river one more time by the Russians and to establish bridgehead in this area. So it's four options. But let's go back to Ukrainians one more time. We see that situation critical, and in the beginning of the video I told you about two notes regarding the retreat in this area. Maybe it's speculation, I'll repeat myself, but let's assume that Ukrainians gave an order to retreat. Let's assume. There are 15,000 Ukrainian soldiers, and we know exactly that Lysychansk agglomeration that located in this area can use this road, and they still can move from Lysychansk towards Seversk. But what about the guys who's located in Severodonetsk? They don't have such possibility. And if we are talking about guys in Zolotoye Gorsk, they also don't have such possibilities. That means that this situation is so critical that even if today, right now, after this video will be recorded, the Ukrainian command gives an order to retreat, they will have to keep some forces in Severodonetsk. They will have to keep some forces in Zolotogirsk just for one purpose, to give possibility for the main forces to retreat. It's not like you're saying, okay guys, let's retreat and everybody take their weapon and start run. No, because the Russians, they're pushing all the time. They can't evacuate without leaving some forces in this area. So we know that there are 15,000 Ukrainian soldiers, and the question is how much they should leave in this area to save at least 10,000 soldiers. I think that they need to leave around 5,000 soldiers here. Just imagine yourself. More than that, the guys from Zolotogirsk, they won't be able to leave this area at all for many reasons, and one of them is that this road is totally blocked from Toshkivka. So Ukrainians, in this area, they can't use this road to retreat towards Lysychansk, and after that from Lysychansk using this road towards Siversk. So these guys, they don't have any option at all. Yes, they can run using these fields, but imagine yourself if they will run using these fields, unorganized groups towards Lysychansk oil refinery. It won't be a retreat, it will be a panic and balagan then in this case. More than that, we know that the Russians are attacking Vrubivka. And maybe even by this evening they will try to establish control over this area, and that's mean that these forces, they not just won't be able to retreat, they will be in cauldron and nobody will escape this territory. And there are around 3,000 of Ukrainians in this area, around 1,000. So I understand that there is just one group that can retreat, is the group that located in Lysychansk. The others that located in Severodonetsk, in Zolotogorsk, they are done. They are totally done. These guys is distracted from the balance. They won't be able to leave. More than that, they will be forced to stay there for one purpose, to give these forces possibility to retreat. More than that, another insight from the, of course, from the Russian military channels, they told that this Zaluzhny reported Zelensky that they completed the successful mission of artillery evacuation. Maybe it's insight and maybe just speculation, I don't know, but we have such speculation. So there was a report that artillery from Lysychansk has been already moved towards Seversk. And now this area, not just without support, but and without artillery. And we know that the only thing that stopped Russians in this area was the artillery. And now there is no stop factor in this area. More than that, the question is, are the Ukrainians able to use this road for evacuation? And now let's talk about the second note of their conversation, that Zaluzhny can order Lysychansk agglomeration to retreat just in 2 days, so on Friday. And the question is, what is going to be on Friday? And if Lysychansk agglomeration are not be able to leave this area, then in a few days we're gonna see this cauldron, because this entire area will be under the Russians. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, and enjoy your day. Bye bye.